And coming up with Florida, it's also Alexis Senior Day and Power Pink. What are you looking forward to most about this weekend?
Well, first of all, we respect the heck out of Florida. They've been an awesome opponent for years in the SEC. Obviously, won 2 national championships, and have one of the best pitchers in the country on their roster. So it's always a great series. I think both sides respect each other. I think they play the game the right way. So that's always fun to play a team like that, because we have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to commit errors. They're going to play the game the right way, and you have to come out and beat them. And it's kind of a cool thing to do, to play a really good opponent. Second thing is, I'm glad we're at home. We got the best fans in the country, and there's lots of stuff to come out and see this weekend, starting with Lexi's Senior Day on Saturday. She's meant so much to the program. I spoke to countless Rotary clubs, Kiwanis, whoever asked me to speak, I spoke, and the one thing that I said to every one of them is, you have to come see this kid. This is it. This is her senior year. You only have one more shot. And I remember one week I went to a club and talked, and that was the week where she won. She pitched a no-hitter in my 1,000th win, and then the next day she struck out 21. And one of the guys actually took advantage of my tickets, and he said, you know what, I'm glad I came, because that was something else. And she's capable of doing that. And then, just Power Pink is something special for everybody. I think everybody in the country has been affected somehow, some way. They know somebody that had breast cancer, and it's a great tribute to Coach Sarah Patterson and what she started at Alabama. And I think it's really cool that we continue with every women's sport. And now you see it, it's in the NFL, it's in the NBA, it's in Major League Baseball. So it's a really, really bigger than yourself sort of thing. And that's why we love to do that.
And then last year during the Super Regional, Florida beat y'all out. Is this kind of like a revenge factor?
Well, we hadn't, we had to play Tennessee one year in Super Regionals. We've had Florida, obviously. It stinks, but it's the nature of the SEC, because you have so many good teams, and you gotta go somewhere. And unfortunately, we were paired up with them. It's just, they were all good games. We lost the third game 2-1. And could have gone either way. We beat them the first game, they beat us the second game. So it's just a good opponent to play, and we need to take care of our home games in the SEC, and it's a big weekend for us, and hopefully we'll have 4,000 people at every game.
You scored a lot of runs this past series. What did you see out of your team offensively?
I loved it. We were aggressive from the beginning. Kaylee Tao really set the tone for us. She was hitting the 2-hole. She's a kid from Madisonville, Kentucky, which was 3 hours from Lexington. Could have been a lot of pressure on her. That sort of thing comes up because she had probably 200 friends, family. They took up a whole section in the Kentucky softball stadium. But you know what? She was a stud all weekend, and as you said, she hit 700. Was the SEC Freshman of the Week, and really set the tone because she was hitting the 2 spot all weekend, and I think people fed on that. And City Booker had a great weekend. Reagan Dykes had a great weekend. Mara Schroeder had a great weekend. Demi Turner came out of a little slump. I mean, you can go on and on, but a lot of people hit the ball hard, and it was a lot of extra base hits too. It was doubles and home runs, which is fun to see.
You mentioned the aggressiveness of the offense, at least being more aggressive a couple of weeks ago. Have you seen that over the last 2 weeks with the offense, specifically from the plate?
Well, I think one of the keys this weekend, as long as you mention that, is swinging early in the count, because they like to. I mean, the best pitchers get ahead in the count. That's the key to success. So, but as a hitter, you need to be ready for that first pitch, which it could be the best pitch you see in an at bat. And for whatever reason, we just were really aggressive at Kentucky. I don't think it was something that we really talked about, but they saw a pitch and they hammered it. And that's the key. You can't miss it, because if you miss it, it's just a foul ball or a swing and a miss. And most of the time, I knew how it's going to happen. I almost screamed. Don't put that on. Most of the time, they did a great job of getting the pitch that they wanted, and they hammered it. So. And we had really good 2-strike hitting too, so it's the opposite of that, because early in the count, it's kind of more of a free swinging, and then later in the count, you got to protect. And I think Tao actually hit a home run with 2 strikes one time, so it was just a good job of hitting.
And then Tao's almost her freshman year, almost her first full year. Just beyond just this past weekend, what has she meant to the offense in general in her freshman year?
Well, to come in as a freshman, the first thing we do at our first team meeting, we do a little activity called a 1-minute speech. and everybody on the team gets 1 minute. They have to stand at the front of the room and talk. If they stop talking after 30 seconds, they still have to stand in the front of the room. And then we call on a support sister to come up and help them, because the number one thing people are afraid of in life is public speaking. So we have a support sister on both sides, and the topic was describe your personality. And the first thing she said was, I'm not afraid of anything or anybody. I'm fearless, and I love this game. And immediately, you know, what's not to love about that? So she's aggressive, she's confident, she has the perfect mindset to be a good hitter, because as a good hitter, you have to deal with failure. You know, the best hitters in baseball fail 7 out of 10. The best hitters in softball fail 6 out of 10. But the 4 times you hit the ball, you're an All-American. So, and I think she's got that mentality, and it serves her really, really well as a hitter.